Have you ever noticed how independent, self-sufficient women are often labeled as cold, distant, or even intimidating? Why is it that Sigma females, women who choose to walk their own path, are sometimes seen as villains? Is it because of their behavior, or is it simply how society perceives them? Sigma females are often misunderstood, painted as mysterious, detached, or even dangerous. But what if that perception is completely wrong? What if the very traits that make them strong, like their independence, honesty, and quiet confidence, are exactly what make others uneasy? In a world that expects women to be open, social, and emotionally expressive, Sigma females stand apart, challenging the norm in ways that some find unsettling. In this video, we're breaking down the key reasons why society tends to see Sigma females as the villains of the social world, and why this couldn't be further from the truth. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and drop a comment below. Do you think Sigma females get an unfair reputation? Let's get started. Number 1. They don't sugarcoat the truth. Imagine this. In a team meeting at work, two people are asked to give feedback on a project. One person softens their words, saying, "This is great, but maybe we could tweak a few things." Meanwhile, the Sigma female simply says, "This needs improvement. Here's what needs to change." No fluff, no unnecessary compliments, just the truth. To some, this blunt honesty can feel harsh, even cruel. Society often values politeness over directness, especially when it comes from a woman. People are used to feedback being delivered with a smile and a soft tone, not in a straightforward, no-nonsense way. Because Sigma females don't sugarcoat their words, they're often seen as rude or unfeeling. But in reality, they're just being efficient and truthful, qualities that ironically are often respected in men. The truth is, Sigma females don't believe in wasting time with unnecessary pleasantries. They're not trying to be mean. They simply value honesty over comfort. And while some may mistake this for coldness, those who truly understand them know that their directness comes from a place of logic and clarity, not cruelty. Number 2, they don't follow the crowd. Picture this. A company rolls out a new workplace trend. Everyone is raving about it, following along without question. But the Sigma female, she steps back, analyzes it, and decides it's not for her. Instead of blindly following the crowd, she chooses a different approach that actually works better for her role. While others see this as defiance, she's simply being true to herself. Society thrives on conformity. People feel comfortable when everyone moves in the same direction, follows the same rules, and fits into a predictable mold. But Sigma females don't operate that way. They think for themselves, make their own choices, and aren't afraid to challenge norms. This independence often makes them stand out, but not always in a way that's welcomed. Because they refuse to follow trends just for the sake of fitting in, they're sometimes seen as arrogant or difficult. People assume they're rejecting the status quo just to be rebellious, when in reality, they're just doing what makes the most sense for them. But a Sigma female isn't concerned with what others think. She values her own path over social approval, even if it means being misunderstood. Number 3, they are hard to read. Imagine a workplace where small talk fills the air. Coworkers chat about their weekend plans, their favorite television shows, or the latest office gossip. But in the corner, this is one woman who stays quiet, focused on her work. She doesn't chime in unless necessary, and when she does, her words are thoughtful and to the point. Over time, people start whispering, "Why doesn't she talk more? Is she hiding something? Can we trust her?" Sigma females are naturally private. They don't feel the need to overshare or put their emotions on display for everyone to see. While some people express every thought and feeling openly, a Sigma female keeps hers guarded. It's not because she's cold or distant, it's just how she operates. But society tends to be uncomfortable with mystery. When people don't know what someone is thinking, they assume the worst. This is why Sigma females are often labeled as scheming or manipulative when, in reality, they're just reserved. Their silence is mistaken for secrecy, their calmness for calculation. But the truth is, They simply prefer to observe rather than participate in meaningless chatter. And while others may struggle to understand them, a Sigma female is perfectly fine being an enigma. Number 4. They rarely show their emotions. Picture this. It's a big celebration at the office. A team just landed a major deal, and the room is filled with cheers, laughter, and high fives. Most people are beaming with excitement, but one woman stands quietly to the side, offering a small nod and a polite smile. She's happy, but she's not jumping up and down like the others. Almost immediately, the whispers start. Why isn't she more excited? Does she even care? Sigma females don't express their emotions the way most people expect. Whether they're thrilled, frustrated, or even upset, they tend to keep their feelings to themselves. They process things internally, preferring reflection over dramatic reactions. This doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It just means they don't see the need to put every emotion on display. But in a world where big reactions are seen as proof of authenticity, their quiet composure can make them seem detached or uninterested. People mistake their calmness for coldness, their lack of visible excitement for apathy. In reality, Sigma females experience emotions just like everyone else. They simply choose to express them in their own way. And while the world may not always understand their restraint, they know that staying composed is their strength, not a weakness. Number 5. They love control, but only over themselves. Imagine a workplace where everyone follows an unspoken rule. You have to stay late, even if your work is done, just to look dedicated. Most people go along with it, afraid of what their boss or coworkers might think. But then there's one woman who doesn't. She finishes her tasks efficiently and leaves on time. She's not rude about it. She just knows she's done her job and sees no reason to stay just for show. Almost immediately, people start talking. She thinks she's better than us. Why won't she just follow the norm? But the truth is, she's not trying to prove anything to anyone. She simply refuses to let meaningless expectations dictate her life. Sigma females value their freedom above all else. They don't crave control over others, nor do they want to lead or dominate. They just want autonomy, the ability to live life on their own terms. This kind of independence can be unsettling to those who rely on structure and conformity. When someone doesn't seek approval or follow the crowd, it can feel like defiance, even when it isn't. But Sigma females aren't trying to rebel. They just believe in their right to make their own choices. And while society might misinterpret this as arrogance or stubbornness, in reality, it's just self-respect. Number 6. They prefer working alone. Picture a group project at work. Everyone is huddled around a table, throwing out ideas, chatting, and bouncing thoughts off each other. But one woman is sitting at her desk, quietly focused on her own part of the task. She's not ignoring the team. She's simply deep in concentration, doing her best work in her own space. At first, her coworkers don't understand. Why isn't she joining in? Does she think she's too good to work with us? The truth is, she works best alone. Sigma females are naturally independent and thrive in solitude. While teamwork has its benefits, constant collaboration can feel draining or even slow them down. They're not antisocial or uninterested. They just prefer efficiency over unnecessary chatter. Unfortunately, in a world that values group effort and social bonding, this preference can be misinterpreted. People assume they're disengaged or unwilling to cooperate when, in reality, they're just fully immersed in their work. Sigma females don't avoid teamwork out of arrogance. They simply know that sometimes the best way to get things done is to do it on their own. Number 7. Their quiet confidence feels intimidating. Imagine a high-stakes meeting at work. Everyone is pitching ideas, trying to impress the boss, speaking louder to make sure they're heard. In the middle of it all, a woman sits calmly, listening intently. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't fight for the spotlight. But when she finally speaks, her words are sharp, clear, and well thought out. The room falls silent. Some admire her, but others feel uneasy. Why isn't she trying harder to stand out? Does she think she's better than the rest of us? The reality is, Sigma females don't need constant approval. They don't rely on applause or validation to know their worth. They carry themselves with quiet confidence, trusting their abilities without the need for external praise. In a world where confidence is often loud and attention-seeking, their composed nature can be misread as arrogance. People mistake their self-assurance for superiority because they expect confidence to come with boldness and charm. But true confidence doesn't always need an audience. It's in how they think, act, and carry themselves, even in silence. Sigma females aren't villains. They're not cold, unfeeling, or rebellious for the sake of being difficult. They're just independent, honest, and confident individuals who refuse to conform to society's expectations. Their quiet strength, direct nature, and self-sufficiency challenge the norms, making them an easy target for misunderstanding. But being different isn't a flaw, it's a strength. The truth is, the world often struggles to accept those who don't fit neatly into a box. When someone doesn't behave the way people expect, it's easier to label them as difficult rather than try to understand them. But just because you don't follow the crowd doesn't mean you're the villain. Sometimes, it just means you see the world differently, and that's okay. Did any of these points resonate with you? Do you think Sigma females are misunderstood? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay true to yourself.